As parents, I think most of us share one thing. We want to give our kids the best possible start in life. Unfortunately, today's rates of chronic health conditions are affecting our children immensely. From allergies and asthma to ADHD and autism. Is there anything that we can start doing now to support our children's development and health before they're even born? Keep watching this video to find the biggest overlooked step when it comes to prenatal care. This information is specifically for expecting parents and those that are planning to conceive or who want to take an approach that is proactive to their baby's health and development, particularly those concerned about the rising rates of developmental and chronic health challenges in children. We're going to explore the crucial role of the nervous system in your baby's development and how understanding this connection can help you make informed decisions about your pregnancy journey. You'll learn about the concept of the perfect storm and practical steps that you can take to support your baby's optimal development. Here at Generations Chiropractic, we have so many moms that come in with a really similar story. Usually it starts somewhere with fertility challenges or a stressful pregnancy, leading to things like inductions, epidurals, forceps, C-sections, vacuum extractions. All of those early stressors on in a baby's life then leads to things like colic, digestion, sleep struggles, latch issues, and develops even more as they continue to grow when they're, in their teens, as far as ADHD, anxiety, depression. It really is a very similar cascade of events that lead to what we call the perfect storm. So how did we get here? Let's look at some perinatal statistics. In the US, we are the first in emergency care, but last in maternal and infant mortality rate. The United States spends over $50 billion a year on childbirth, and the U.S. fertility clinic services market was valued at $7.9 billion in 2022 and is projected to reach $16.8 billion by 2028. 25% of women are induced, and 70 to 75% of women in the United States receive an epidural during labor. 1 in 3 American women undergo a C-section or cesarean, despite the World Health Organization recommending a rate of 10 to 15% at most. About 1 in 7 women experience postpartum depression. Those are some real statistics that can start hitting home. Now, obviously, we can't control everything that happens during birth, and some scenarios really are emergencies. But what we can do as moms to help us and baby best adapt to any stressors during pregnancy and birth. Many think that hormones are the answer, and they can play a role. Let's take a step back, though, and talk about what controls every system, the nervous system. So the nervous system has 2 different branches of the autonomic nervous system. That's the things that it does automatically without you having to think about it. The first is the sympathetic nervous system, or the SNS. And this is your fight or flight system. This is what is activated in times of stress or perceived danger. And that's an important thing. A lot of people talk about running away from bears. And it's important to know that generally we're not having to be physically in a place of danger where we're worried about something running at us and attacking us. But it's that perceived danger part where having 10 tests in a day can feel really dangerous to our system, or not knowing what's going to happen when we get home from school, having different things, worried about getting yelled at. Those are all perceived dangers as well. And this prepares the body for action. It increases the heart rate, it helps blood pressure increase, and muscle tension, all preparing us to run away or fight. The next level or branch of the nervous system is the parasympathetic nervous system, or the PNS. And this is your rest, regulate, digest response. This is when you're not stressed. So the PNS promotes relaxation, healing, and restoration. It slows your heart rate, enhances digestion, and supports immune function. The important thing also to know about these 2 systems is that the SNS is always on. It really doesn't change much day to day or even minute to minute. What changes is that PNS. That PNS has to come on and put the brake pedals on the SNS saying, hey, it's okay. We don't have anything dangerous going on right now. We're going to rest and relax and restore our body and heal so that when we need to activate you again, you're ready to go. In a healthy individual, both of these work together. They allow the body to respond appropriately to different situations. If we're in a car and we're afraid someone's going to hit us, we want our SNS to start activating and help us prepare for danger. But if nothing is going on, if we're just sitting in our rooms and reading a book, we don't need to constantly have that SNS activated. When the nervous system isn't balanced, this can lead to a state of chronic stress and the nervous system dysregulation. We call this the perfect storm when it's this cascade of events that leads to dysregulation. Remember what we mentioned earlier about how a lot of moms come in with pregnancy stress or fertility stress leading to birth interventions? This cascade of events leads to a dysregulated nervous system. The nervous system dysregulation can lead to many hormonal imbalances such as painful menstrual cycles, fertility struggles, irregularity, and when the body is stuck in a state of chronic stress with an overactive SNS and an underactive PNS, it can disrupt the hormonal balance necessary for conception and healthy fetal development. This is where the concept of the HPA, or the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, versus the HPG, or the hypothalamic pituitary gonadal axis, comes into play. The HPA axis is activated in times of stress, releasing cortisol and other stress hormones that can interfere with reproductive function. If your body thinks you're stressed and running away from things, it doesn't think it's a good time to have a baby. The HPG axis, on the other hand, is responsible for the production of reproductive hormones like estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. When the body is in a state of chronic stress, the HPA axis can override the HPG axis, making it more difficult to conceive and maintain a healthy pregnancy. Both pathways are super important, and one is not greater than the other, but our bodies have to know when the HPA is needed and when we should be in a rest and digest state. The problem really occurs when our bodies are stuck in fight or flight, when a bear isn't necessarily chasing us. So how does the HPA and HPG axis affect baby during pregnancy? The umbilical cord serves not only as a pathway for nutrients and oxygen, but also as a power cord that connects the mother's nervous system to babies. This means that the developing baby also feels any stress or emotional challenges experienced by the mother during pregnancy. Mom's nervous system is sending a blueprint through the umbilical cord for baby's nervous system to learn from. High levels of maternal stress can alter fetal neurodevelopment and lead to various health challenges later on in life. When a mother experiences chronic stress, her sympathetic nervous system is constantly activated, and this stress is transmitted to the growing baby. Let's look at how the nervous system develops in utero. In the first trimester, week 3 is when the nervous system begins to form. At weeks 5 through 8 is when major organs start to develop, and then week 6 is when that sympathetic nervous system, those nerves involved in social development, begin to form. During the second trimester, in weeks 13 through 16, is when bones and muscles start to develop. Week 17 is when the cerebellum begins to form. That's a back part of the brain that coordinates movements or functions in the body. And then week 26 is when the vagus nerve myelination occurs. That means the vagus nerve is much more able to work. And in the third trimester, weeks 29 through 32 is when the immune system starts to develop. Weeks 33 through 36, rapid brain development occurs. And week 37 is when the autonomic nervous system fully develops. It's an important period to know about because if you are not having a natural birth and you're getting induced early on, think about getting induced at week 37 when the autonomic nervous system is starting to get developed or finishing getting developed, and you're sending it into a state where it's getting ready to be stressed, but it might not quite be ready to do that, flipping some switches. Week 40 is when the vagus nerve and the immune system fully mature. So that ability for that parasympathetic nervous system to put the dampening effect on the sympathetic nervous system isn't fully formed until week 40. So if you've got a little baby that has been born early, whether that was an emergency needing to happen or just an induction because someone said that it was necessary, we're going to have more stress in that infant's life purely because their vagus nerve isn't fully activated and their immune system isn't fully activated until week 40. So where do we come in, and how can we as chiropractors help? Some potential effects of subluxation and dysautonomia during pregnancy include hormonal imbalances and fertility challenges, heightened stress response and difficulty relaxing, impaired blood flow to the placenta, suboptimal fetal positioning like a breech or transverse, and also increased risk of complications during labor and delivery. How do we grow healthy babies then? Obviously, we can't control everything, but we can set our bodies up to be the most educated, resilient, and adaptable to anything that is thrown our way. During preconception and pregnancy, we have the power to create an environment that supports baby's development from the very beginning. One of the most important steps that you can take is to educate yourself and prepare for the journey ahead. Start by prioritizing preconception care for both partners. I really stress that both partners part because the dad is responsible for building the placenta, and that early the first 12 weeks, the sperm are responsible for supplying the fetus with nutrients, or the embryo with nutrients at that point. So dad really needs to make sure that his preconception care is also really good so that he can build a good placenta and he can support that embryo early on in life. Optimize your physical and mental and emotional health through proper nutrition, exercise, stress management, and nervous system support. By laying a strong foundation before conception, you can increase your chances of a healthy pregnancy and a thriving baby. Surround yourself with a supportive birth team and environment. Choose healthcare providers who align with your values and priorities and who will empower you to make informed decisions about your care. Consider working with a midwife, a doula, pelvic floor PT, or an IBCLC alongside your prenatal chiropractor, as well as other birth professionals who can provide guidance and advocacy throughout the process. Now that we've talked through all of these amazing things, I hope that you can truly see the impact that we can make on our growing babies. How cool is it that by focusing on our nervous system development, we have the ability to affect our growing baby's development even before they're conceived? The foundation of nervous system health starts with neurologically focused chiropractic care, which can offer specific benefits such as improved nervous system function for both mom and baby, reduced stress, enhanced immune function, and optimal fetal positioning. Let's start by seeing what you and your partner's nervous system looks like. Here at Generations Chiropractic, we test this through technology called Insight neurological scans, and they are non-invasive and show us how your nervous system is functioning and where it may need some help. From there, since all nervous systems are unique, you will receive a customized care plan that is tailored to exactly what your nervous system needs to heal and be ready to grow that healthy baby or just be your healthiest self. So don't wait until after your baby arrives to think about their neurological health. Contact us today to learn more about how we can support you in giving your baby the strongest possible foundation for their start to life. Visit the link in our bio on Instagram for more information and share this video with a friend who might need it.